Wally's grandparents and Wally's parents. For Wally. Walter Taitapanui is known as Wally to his whānau. He lives with his grandparents, Te Hui no Te Ao, Margaret, and Arapeta Bully Taitapanui in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. This story of his life was written by the whānau. His grandmother Margaret says, Wally was 3 when he came to live with us. He was very thin. They said he might last 6 months. I thought Connie, his mother, was starving him. Then I found out how he was. How did she bring him so far? It's so much hard work and there's no sleep. She was a very brave mother. Then when the fits started, she was so scared. At first, when he came to us, he came every weekend. It took her a while to part with him. And Wally's mother says, he was tiny, but at first we thought he was normal. But he didn't grow. And when he was about a year old, we knew he was going to be different from other children. He was in hospital all the time with seizures. Dr. Insole, who was Wally's doctor, was a great help. He used to come and stay with me when Wally was very sick. He'd stay until he was better. He's been to so many doctors, so many specialists. Sometimes we travelled a long way and they'd tell us in 2 to 3 words that he's brain damaged and they can't do anything. The first time he sat up, he was 4 then. He went to 6 doctors at Homai in Auckland for his sight. That was where he had his first greenstone given by one of the Māori women there. We were there for a week. I didn't like any of it. They showed us the place where they put them to stop them hurting themselves. No windows, no air. I said, I hate what you're showing me. They did tests. They say there is some sight he can see moving things and brightly coloured things. Wally can't talk, but he lets us know what he wants. When he's hungry, he'll put his hand out until you start feeding him. He loves fish. He loves fish and chips. He hears the rattle of the paper and knows the smell. He relaxes when he's had enough. That day, he was really holding on to his glass. Neat, eh? We have a struggle now when we do his teeth. It is a really important part of his health. When he was young, Wally could stand up, holding on to us. He should have had the frame from the beginning. He was 11 before they strapped him in it at school. He was left there too long and was crying. Then he started to refuse to get up anymore. He nearly lost it altogether. He still uses his walker and can push himself a fair way. We built the house like this, so the ambulance could come in easily. But he's never had a fit since we moved here 7 years ago. We tried all sorts of healing. We took him to hug the wishing tree, a tree of life, and up the highest hill and held him out to the sea. Tohunga, healers, he's had all that. The last time we went to a tohunga, we went for ourselves, but he was interested in Wally too. He said he can't do anything for what he is, but can take off the evil things. Since then, he's been good. No fits, no sicknesses. Wally's was the first cloak I made. It came as a picture in my mind, like a dream. The auntie who brought me up was a weaver, but I didn't learn from her. I was taken off her at 7 years. Wally loves music, any kind, country and western, Māori and Pākehā. He sits in the chair while I garden. He enjoys being outside, but the sandflies munch you to nothing, so we usually cover him up. He went to school for a year or two. We had to have someone with him all the time, even on the bus in case he had fits. Then he was schooled at home. Tangi is the main caregiver, the teacher paid by the education department. He finishes school at the end of the year because he's 21 now. He'll get help from the health department then. This was Wally's 21st birthday, and his mother Connie said that over 400 people came to Wally's 21st birthday. It took months to organise. It was really stressful, but once it started, it seemed to go quickly. And Wally's grandfather Bully said, "I can only get 3 or 4 people at my birthday. Look at Wally. He doesn't even talk, and he gets the whole of New Zealand there. It's just the love." The haka to welcome Wally on the marae was really special. You don't see a lot of that now. It was a real honour. Tahai and I, not used to being in the limelight, it felt like a bit of a wedding. My family from Gisborne came, and it's the first time many had met Wally and other caregivers who had looked after him in the past. About 20 people from Gisborne stayed overnight. It's pulled us down, not being able to go for holidays and outings. Bully had to give up his sport, but we're not a family that likes to go out. We stay home. There's always chores to do. That's how we were brought up. Work, work, work. They all want to have Wally to give me a break. It's me that's stopping it. I can't get it out of my mind that they might give him a lolly or dry bread and he'll choke. I've always had that fear. But heaps of times the hospital had him. When he is with them, my mind is free. The only breaks we've had have been when he's been in hospital or now with Tangi. The lottery grant helped pay for the van. It's done us well, but we need a new one with a hoist. He's too heavy for us to lift. That's his cousin Kalita. He has lots of visitors. His cousins came from Australia and took a love for Wally. Most of the kids are frightened of Wally at first. Some won't come in. I won't shift Wally. The house is his. They get used to him in the end. He's really heavy, very heavy, to take to the marae now. We go only if Tani comes on her day off. And for the past 3 years, Bully's been ill and I look after him too. They promised to give me extra help, but it never came. At the weekends, I'm not allowed more than 1 hour a day, and no one wants to come here for that. But to me, Wally's life came on true love and faith. God's been helping us along. We loved him and he came through all that. The whole family love him. Not one said, "Why have him?" They all accepted Wally totally and fuss over him. He's very special.
My name is Mary Vincent. I live with my boyfriend, Neville Grice, in the flat in Auckland. I was only child. I lived on the North Shore with my father and my mother until they found a house in Panua. When I was about 6 or 7, I went to Tamaki Primary School and then into a special class because my speech wasn't good. I used to get speech therapy. I made a real good friend intermediate, Gwen Nesbitt. She was my best friend. We still keep in touch on the phone. I like my school. I used to play sports. I always remember the headmaster, Mr. Abel. He was real friendly. I lived at home until my dad died when I was 20. My mother remarried and I got pushed out of my own home. I shifted with my mother's brother, my Uncle Bill in Otara. He was a great guy. He's very gentle, very loving. He treated me like an adult. When I was turned 21, he gave me a key for myself. I lived with my Uncle Bill for 20 years. I helped to pay for the rent, the power, the gas. I used to look after him when he was sick. I helped him with the courier run. I used to leave early in the morning to put on leaflets in the letterbox. I take doggy biscuits to tame the dogs. They used to chase after me. About 1995, my uncle lost his memory, and because he quite confused, he went to the rest home. He used to take off. He wanted to go back to his own place to see people like Gwen. He still remembers her. I went to live in a home then. It was hard at first, but I had a good staff. My helper helped me a lot because I was in a great shock having left my home and my uncle. When Uncle Bill passed away, I had to do all the arrangements. The minister who did the funeral asked me to come to church, and then that's when I start to go. Now I am rostered on to help out. After we finish the last song, I set up the tables for tea and never pick up the community cards. I met Neville, my boyfriend, when I went to live in the service. He was living in another house nearby. He told everybody about us, then told them I got a girlfriend. I was shy, and it was a while before I went to see him to the country in Western. I love Neville. About 7 years ago, we moved into a flat together. It's next to the resident's home, and the staff comes over and keep an eye on us. I work in the factory for 6 hours every week. I love my work. I get paid $8.50 an hour drilling the holes for the bookcases. Dale is a staff member. She works in the furniture shop where we sell the things we make. She's fun. Since these photos were taken, I have been transferred to work in the shop. Two staff, Derek and Michael with the beard, and Trevor, a client at the back. I call Michael Santa Claus. They are a good team. They give me a hard time in the van. Tony was falling around and getting cheeky, and I gave him one back. I like to have fun. I have a laugh. Oh, sorry. Staff took us to the market on Waitangi Day in the van. It was very hot that day. Neville was still using his walker then. This woman was helping him sit down. Neville is wearing an Australian t-shirt that I got for him when I went to the Melbourne conference. The ladies at the markets asked me where I got my t-shirt. It has a Merrick design. I have a computer at home. I use it to do work for People's First. I've been in People's First since I came into the service. Simon Coe is a regional vice president, and I am Northern Region president for People's First. But I am thinking to step down now and letting someone else have a go.
Tā lofa lava, o lo ingoa o whaai umatai, o au o le tina o maika. O maika, o se tasi o la o whanau, o lona lua o le ma whanau. Tēnā koe, hello to one, tēnā ko rua, hello to two, tēnā koto, hello to all, welcome everyone, haere mai everyone. Micah was born on 26th of January 1974. That's our second child. There are 5 more younger. Micah doesn't talk. We often know what he wants. But sometimes it's a guessing game. He likes bread and taro, eggs. He likes being with people. He likes their attention. He gets frustrated as he cannot run about with the others. He listens to radio and likes disco music. He dances to it. Though, when the others dance, he won't get up. But Micah doesn't like wrestling on the TV. When his younger brother watches it, Micah gets up and goes to his room. When someone visits and doesn't give him attention, he gets upset. I say, "You're not the only child." He hits his head against the wall. Micah's father, Aloese, looks after him now while I study and work. But the family gets tired. We can't believe Micah by himself. Sometimes the children have to go away, but they have to help me too. June helps us a lot to look after Micah when I need to go somewhere. Micah needs help in the bath, help putting his clothes on, and help him with eating too. It's a lot of work. Micah has renal failure and often had diarrhea, and there are just not enough diapers. We get given just 2 a day. We have to buy more with our own money. When nappies are short, his bedclothes become wet. Sometimes Micah knows how to go to the toilet, but sometimes he accidentally doesn't get there. There is just so much washing to do, and I get less time for the other children. We have to use the dryer in winter. Micah used to go for a workshop, but he didn't like it. He didn't want to be bossed around. 2 years ago, he started going to a Pacific Island service, Women Hearts of the Pacific. They pick him up in the van each morning and bring him home in the afternoon. He likes it there. Marie Robetti, she said, when Micah first came